There's a lot of people talking about what's called the anxious attacher these days. Let's talk about that. Hey guys, Randy here with the Living Adventure again. Yeah, so I mean, all of a sudden we get these new labels. Oh man, you gotta love labels. Everybody's got to have one. The newest one that's really hitting the psychological world is the anxious attacher, and I want to talk a little bit more about an HSP anxious attacher and what that really means. And again, I'm not big on labels, but labels tend to help us, identify people. We all have one. My name's Randy. I got a label. An anxious attacher, especially a highly sensing person that's an anxious attacher. These are the type of people that, have had some dramatic childhood traumas and have failed to develop a good, healthy relationship matrix. In other words, they have a tough time bonding with people and connecting with people. They isolate their connections to a very narrow stream. In other words, people that show them a excessive amount or high level of intimacy. On the other side, these people try to develop other relationships. They go out there and they bounce off of society, but they reject society themselves. And the reason that they reject society is because they themselves want to be the rejecter as opposed to being rejected, usually because they were rejected as children. And so what they would rather do is maintain the control of that rejection by rejecting other people and saying, no, I'm going to isolate myself. And they isolate themselves to, quite often, a controlling individual. And they don't even realize it. The individual feeds them the intimacy and the emotional, pat on the back that they're seeking. But at the same time, they are subtly manipulating them and controlling them to their will. Not a problem. I mean, if both parties are accepting of that, then they can have a healthy, happy relationship. The real challenge, though, comes when children are brought into the picture. So what you tend to have there is you have two completely different parenting styles. One is more malevolent, more, I have a child now and I'm going to teach this child to bond with me, and I need to have that connection. So they go above and beyond to embrace that connection because they know how it feels to be rejected when they were a child. So they go above and beyond to make sure that that child doesn't feel rejected in any way, shape, or form. The other parent, on the other hand, the controlling one, is more of a demanding. Do as I say, how I say it, why I say it, and don't argue back. They have no patience for that. They have no commitment. They love the child. Don't get me wrong. They love the child. But their parenting style is of a controlling nature, whereas the other parent is of a malevolent or a lack of rejection. So what does the child see? Two completely different parenting styles. And doesn't get consistency, doesn't understand, right? Like, this is how. So depending on which one's the controller and which one's the malevolent one will depend on the child, if it's a boy or a girl, and how they relate to that parent. If it's a girl relating to a malevolent mother, they will see men as not very good because they're controlling. But if it's a girl relating to a controlling mother, then they themselves need to be in control. And who gets controlled? The father. And so it's quite obvious. Now, often that child will go out and seek other adults' attention that are a little bit more stable. So that child, he or she, if it's a boy, it's opposite too, right? That child will go and compare parenting styles. All children do this, right? All children compare parenting styles to other parents, especially when it comes to school. And so if they see parents of different parenting styles, they automatically compare it to their parenting styles. Children that go and seek other adults, will evaluate those other adults to their parents. So, yeah, anxious attachers, um, that's a problem, and we can really mess up a society based on our need for that anxious attachment, that bond with other people, that is not a healthy bond when it comes to offspring and children. Right? It has to be a united front when it comes to bringing up children in our world. If it's not, the children definitely see that. And they're intelligent and they're intuitive, and their minds aren't cluttered with all the garbage that we tend to clutter it with. So just be aware that HSP, anxious attachers, is a real thing, and it's hard to break out of that. But there is help. Yeah, there is help for that. Anyway, guys, I hope this one helps. Cheers.